All right, a very good morning wherever you are watching us from your right on time for Kirk in the morning, the last Friday of the month of March 2023. Well, welcome this cold morning in the capital city. My name is Chris Sambo. I'll be in your company for the next 2 hours as we talk matters to do with the state of the nation. What has been the state of the nation? Of course, the protest yesterday, the Azimio la Umoja led protest in the parts of Embakasi were marred with chaos and, the wrath of the police being unleashed on journalists as well as the politicians that had been part of the protest. So what does that mean for the country, even as the Azimio la Umoja continue to say and hold firm that they will not relent in their quest of protest every Monday and Thursday? The government also holding a very hard line on they are not going to have any conversation with the opposition in regards to matters to do with the government. What is the state of that in regards to the Kenyan people? We'll be talking about that in the next few hours, even as we deliberate on what has transpired the entire week. Of course, this is a broadcast where you need to be for the next 2 hours as we talk matters to do with the state of the nation. Welcome aboard wherever you are watching us from. We are streaming live on Facebook at Kirk TV Kenya and also on YouTube at Kirk TV Kenya. You can tune in and get to understand and contribute in this particular conversation. And as we always do, first things first, we take a look at what the newspapers have this morning. All right, and just look at what the newspapers have this morning. I want to welcome my guest who is in studio this morning, Reverend Henry Munyori. Karibu sana kwenye studio this morning.
Thank you, Chris.
And good to see you this morning.
Good morning, viewers.
Mm-hmm. Good to see you this morning as we take a look at the state of the nation. The Daily Nation on its top page talks about, on the top picture, is an insert picture there that has been the talk of the country since yesterday evening. It talks about, it shows a police officer in plain clothes firing tear gas right directly into a car that is said to have been ferrying journalists who were part of the protest procession that was yesterday in a pipeline estate yesterday. The insanity continued on the third day of anti-government protest led by Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Chief Raila Odinga, with journalists bearing the brunt of police brutality. Several people were injured, businesses looted, and property of unknown value destroyed as the protest degenerated into chaos. A story is written by the Daily Nation on page 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. So, Henry, what do you make of the outrage that we saw yesterday? Of course, when we were following keenly on the procession of the protest, it was quite peaceful. We would see people dancing, would see people, getting into the mood of that particular procession. But it got to a point where now police unleashed their wrath on the people, and that is the repercussions of what the Daily Nation talks about on its top page. What do you make of yesterday events, even as reported by the Daily Nation?
It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
It's pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Disastrous. We are not in the right path.
Mm-hmm.
I was there when the former Prime Minister went for a swearing-in ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And for sure, he went and took the Bible, and he was sworn in by one Miguna.
Mm-hmm.
That was during the tenure of the former president, the retired president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kenyatta was somewhere, taking his cup of tea or whatever he was taking, but he let go. There was no bloodshed, yet whatever was happening was tantamount to a revolution. Mm-hmm. It was a treason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But why was there no bloodshed? Now, we are concerned about the trend and the path that the government is currently taking.
Mm-hmm.
This one is going to cause bloodshed, anarchy in this nation. We are not impressed. Kenya is a peaceful country. It's a nation that many people and many other countries surrounding us are watching and waiting. This is a peaceful nation where all people are coming, to kind of for their survival. Now we are destroying our nation. Impunity. We must follow the Constitution. We must feel the presence of the police is not a threat. They are there to protect us. We cannot allow them, to come shooting at people who are not armed. The only weapon that the media people had is their cameras. Why should you shoot? And why should you injure innocent people? People who are bringing information to this community. It is wrong. We are not heading to the right direction.
It's quite wrong. And in that regard, the president in the Daily Nation is quoted as saying, President William Ruto commits to respect the Constitution and uphold the rule of law, even as opposition leader Raila Odinga persists with the anti-government protest. And the U.S. envoy's message, U.S. Senator Chris Coons and U.S. Ambassador Meg Whitman met with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Azimio boss Raila Odinga in push for a truce, but leaders stuck to their hardline position. So what is next for the country? We'll be talking about that in our conversation this morning. But on top of the Daily Nation is a story there of onlookers at the scene of accident involving a Pwani University bus and a matatu yesterday. 14 people killed in a Naivasha Varsity bus and matatu crash. Samunyori, 14 people killed in Naivasha in that particular accident.
First and foremost, my condolences to the families of the bereaved, of the people who died. My daughter is a student at Pwani University. She's Deborah Wambui. She's pursuing her first year, pursuing a political science degree. And I got the news from her. And it was so touching. And it's not good. Our roads are not good. Our drivers are not competent. I hear somebody was saying that in that spot, in the last 2 months, about 8 accidents have happened. Surely, what is the Ministry of Roads and Transport doing? When you hear such things, people saying that this is a black spot, what have you done? Our roads are not good. The infrastructure is not good. You cannot be appointed as a CS for transport for 5 years and you keep on listening to people, yet you are not responding or acting. A lot of money has been pumped into that ministry. We need to repair our roads. We need to pay attention to that spots, to those sort of spots. So, Pwani, poleni sana. Poleni sana. I came there around the month, I think, of January. I was there bringing my daughter. It's a good university. So we are praying for the staff, for the lecturers, for everybody, for the students, that God shall comfort them during this time of mourning. And it's unfortunate that such a thing is happening when everybody, all the leaders are now, politicking. Yeah? This is a time where, the church and the Muslims and everybody else on board, we should organize some prayers for Pwani, at Pwani University, even as they are mourning the dead.
I think the political temperatures should not outdo what really transpired yesterday, because 14 people killed, that is not quite an easy thing for a country.
Absolutely.
Especially for the young people. All right. And the Daily Nation on that story is written by the Daily Nation on page 10, and in depth of what really transpired. There was allegations of the faulty brakes of that particular bus, but all that information is on the Daily Nation on page 10. And page 4, 5, 6, 7 as an in-depth of the effects of the Azimio protest and each and every account of what transpired yesterday during the Azimio La Umoja procession in Embakasi, especially the Pipeline residential area, where that is where the police meted rather than the protesters who were in that particular procession. The Daily Nation has quite a number of stories, so you can grab your copy and be able to get a glimpse of what is written in that particular newspaper. But there is at the back of the Daily Nation, there is a story there by the Daily Nation which talks about cash crunch in counties set to persist, as Treasury Principal Secretary Chris Kipto says that they need more time to release money to the counties. What do you make of the continued delay of the release of funds to the respective counties?
It's not good. It's not healthy. In these counties, we talk of devolution. We are having our sisters, our brothers, our parents. They are working there, and the burden of and the cost of living is very, very high. We need to put bread on the table. So if you're not paying the workers, what will happen? They will start demos. They will start chaos. They will go slow. I mean, there will be no development in this nation. So we are also concerned that the government is not releasing the necessary funds on time so that salaries can be paid and appropriate development can continue. Yeah.
And that is the Daily Nation. The Standard newspaper just so quickly talks about the in-depth of protest chaos amid frantic calls for talks, the continued pressure by different sectors to have the president and the opposition talk. There was a story written on pages 4, 5, and 6 and 7, a duplicate of the story by the Daily Nation, but now the Standard with a different version of what really transpired yesterday in regards to the violent by some of the protesters, and also goons setting fire some of the political rival offices and looting of supermarkets. What do you make of the conduct of some of the protesters? The protest, of course, being called to be peaceful, but we've had cases of looting, as reported by the Standard, cases of vandalizing of properties. Yesterday we saw in Siaya the torching of the UDA offices in that particular region. What do you make of even as you say that the government should allow protests continue? What do you make of such occurrences in regards to the protesters?
The problem is the leaders. If you're the driver, you must know where there are potholes, where there are bumps. The former Prime Minister ought to conduct and to inspire and guide the demonstrators in an appropriate manner. There must be, as provided by the Constitution in Article 37, it is allowed for people to picket, to demonstrate, but they must do it peacefully and without arms. We are not sure what is happening because the demonstrations are starting in a very peaceful manner, but all of a sudden things start happening. People start taking stones, breaking houses and vandalizing and stealing. We must manage the demonstrations. The police must also protect the property of the innocent people who have gone out to look for their daily bread. And they also must not necessarily control or ban, but they must also protect the lives of the people. Yeah.
And that is what the Standard newspaper reports, and you say the police must protect property of the people. Just taking a look at yet another story by the Standard newspaper. It talks about so in depth of the number of people that were killed in that particular accident. Page 4 and 5 of the Standard newspaper talks about a look behind the scenes of frantic calls for dialogue between President Ruto and Raila, and goes ahead to talk about it has been a week of anger, fire, tears, and harsh words, but behind the acrid smoke of tear gas canisters and chest thumping, a group of clergy and diplomats have been shuttling between cities in quest for peace. We're seeing what is happening and the headlines being taken, and the Standard talks about the frantic calls for dialogue behind the scenes. What do you make of the move for different sectors to call for dialogue between President Ruto and Raila?
They are cowards.
Are they cowards?
They are cowards. This is something that should have been done by yesterday. Kenya does not belong to two people. We saw this, the so-called handshake, where things happened at the Harambee House, and they came out and they shook hands and they say, we have 9 points that will bring peace to this nation. And I think this is the main and the major problem of this nation, whereby the communist, or I believe Karl Marx, where he said that if you want to rule a nation, make 75% of its citizens very poor and very ignorant. You shall rule them forever. The former president, Moi, you say that KANU will rule this nation for the next 100 years. And this is what is happening. But who are these members of the KANU members? I think what needs to be done is that institutions should be aroused and they should come and have the dialogue by themselves. I'm talking of, the clergy, the civil society, religious groups. We want the media people to come on board. We want schools. We want the medical fraternity. We have brains in this nation, people who can sit down and be listened to. It is not the two who should tell us which way Kenya. It is us, the people, who should actually tell them, you are not our bosses. You are our servants. We elected you that very early morning from 5 o'clock in the morning. We lost our day provisions, but we came to vote for you. Yet you are not supposed to dictate. You are not supposed to be our bosses. We must develop a paradigm shift in this nation, whereby politicians will not be our bosses, will not amass a lot of wealth. I'm looking forward for a day when we shall have politicians, or during the times of the campaign, nobody wants to go for it because, having a political position is just like a teacher, it's just like a doctor, it's just like a bus driver. When we reach to that status, we will never fight, we will never kill each other. But so long as once you get a political position, is a permit or a license to amass wealth, to steal, to grab, then this problem will continue. So these people should come together. I don't know. The Constitution belongs to the people. Things must be amended. Things must be rectified, because we are not heading to the right direction.
And that is in regards to the calls for frantic calls for dialogue. Page 6 of the Standard talks about what the DP Rigathi Gachagua revealed yesterday. He talks about we are under a lot of pressure to negotiate with Raila. DP Rigathi Gachagua reveals, and that is what he's talking about. And we wait to see whether the pressure will finally pile up and the government bows down and negotiate with the opposition for the sake of the peace of the country. And page 7, police injure journalists, covering protests. Media Council of Kenya talking about 22 journalists who have been assaulted, or rather who have been meted with violence in the ongoing protests since the first day of the protest on Monday of last week. Violence, disruption dominate mass protests, and that is much of what the dailies have to talk about this morning. Of course, it is the state of the nation. On page 10 talks about Ruto bags US trade deal as Kenya to get 65 billion factory. That is in regards to the Moderna vaccine factory that will be built in Nairobi, in regards to the agreement, or rather the deal sealed by President William Ruto yesterday during the American Chamber of Commerce Regional Business Summit in Nairobi yesterday. I think that will be our last story in the newspaper review. I don't know what you make of Kenya now being in a position to get a factory that is the Moderna vaccine factory, for us to have a vaccine factory in the country. What do you make of such that deal by President William Ruto, even as the protests on the sideline close our eyes in terms of politics?
When your children tells you they're hungry, when you have not provided food for them, When you're telling them that we cannot get maize all over the world, you are killing our morale. When the children are hungry, even before you talk about treatment, you need to feed their stomachs. If I was in anyone's position, I would not be talking about anything else. I would be talking about food. I'll be talking about subsidizing and providing, reducing the cost. Well, is Corona a threat at this time? For me, the answer is no. So I don't know how this can be converted so that we can put everything towards rectifying the current situation. Because if there were people advising our president, His Excellency William Ruto, he would have stopped the former prime minister a long time back by ensuring that food is on the table. We will not be seeing these demonstrators. So let us deal with first things first. Kenya is burning. We must quench this fire
before it gets out of hand. All right, and that is where we wind up the newspaper review, and we are taking a very short commercial break because we will be coming back with a conversation of the day, the state of the nation, what next for the demos, what effects are the demos now having on businesses, and as well as for the Kenyan people. We saw in Mathare yesterday a section of the residents confronting the general service officers and the anti-riot police officers and telling them, please get out of our area. We want to open our businesses. We do not need that retaliation. That means that the pain of the demonstration or rather the protest has gone down to the common Kenyan. So what does that mean for the country? That is our conversation this morning, as well as what is way forward in terms of the headlines taken by both sides of the government and that of the opposition. We come back shortly after this short commercial break, so don't go far away.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Uwe rafiki wa karibu na uwe partner. Ukisema ya kwamba utakuwa ukiwapatia 100 shillings, hata hiyo ni kubwa sana kwao. Ukisema ni 200, ukisema ni 1000, ukisema utaweza 5000, ni wewe tu utaamua. Lakini ikiwa consistent, tuseme ya kwamba ni mwezi, nikisema ya kwamba nitakuwa nikiwapatia mwezi kiasi hiki, ni kuendelea tu na kuwapatia na kuwashikilia. Kushikilia hiyo ni kama tunaenda mission. Sisi tunaenda mission.
To partner with us, send your financial support to paybill number 4019613, account partner. Paybill number 4019613, account partner.
John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership only on Kirk TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader, for the leader.
Teke nitupie tiagas, nitupie tiagas, nitupie maji, onitupie maji, nipigwe pingu, onipigwe pingu, niwekwe jela, niwekwe jela, hata Ruto apinge, hata Ruto apinge, hata Ruto apinge, sisa tutarudi nyuma, hata Ruto apinge, hata Ruto apinge, hata Ruto apinge, sisa tutarudi nyuma.
All right, those are some of the hard statements that are coming out from the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Bwana Henry, you can hear what Odinga is talking about, that regardless of what you're going to do to me, I'm not going to relent, and I'm not going to look back. And you can see the spirit now narrowing down to his supporters, and the headline being taken as well by the supporters. What do you make of the headline now being taken by the opposition leader?
When the former Prime Minister was doing his campaign, we were made to believe that he has his last bullet. And he used it. And he never achieved his objective. I don't think he is willing to let it go like that. He has followers. And I bet over 50% of Kenyans are supporting him. And this is why he's talking with authority, because he knows there are many people backing him. I don't know, but I don't see the stability of this nation unless himself sits down with the authorities, or the authorities sit down with him, and other stakeholders, and there must be an institutional dialogue in this nation, after which Kenya will be stable. Otherwise, we are heading to the way of the Southern Sudan, where we have Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, divisions all over. We are heading to the way of Somalia. We are heading the way of Rwanda. The leaders must sit down, and this dialogue must be moderated by, people who are sober. Sobriety is what is needed in this nation. People who are not siding, because we have, it is alleged that the current incumbent president had 7.1 million votes, while the former president, former prime minister had 6.9 million votes. But the total registered voters were 22 million. So we are asking questions behind the scene. Where are the 8 million votes? People who never showed during the polling day. And apart from that, there are others whose morale was so down they didn't even register. Perhaps we have over 2 million people. So where are the 10 million people? So for me, an institutional dialogue must be established in this nation. And that will be the medical prescription or the cure for this nation. Yeah.
And when you talk about, that we need stability, what the opposition is doing is they presented some of their grievances and some of their demands, and we can see how the protests are turning out, and how the temperatures are continuing to rise. Do you feel that the opposition is still in the course of what they initially began the protest with?
Well, the intentions of any demonstration is to make people in authority hear the voice of the demonstrators. We have a saying in the religious circles that if you do not hear the still small voice of God, is going to hit you hard with a hammer. I think because they tried to give ultimatums to the government, telling them in 2 weeks' time, please listen to us. We want you to respond to the list of things that we have put there. And there was, the fraction of the government, the hardliners advising their leaders on what to do and not what to do. I think what is happening is not good, because it is now going out of hand. And what the former prime minister perhaps intended might go out of control, might go out of hand. We are asking ourselves, is the prime minister able to maintain the demonstration and the demonstrators? The answer will be no. Things will soon go out of hand. And this is why we are asking the leaders, and especially our president, His Excellency William Ruto, to act with urgency and do what is necessary. Other than, you cannot continue beating up the chest and, listening to advisors of young people. We need elders in this nation. We need elders. Even the Bible talks about elders, not novices. People who can give direction. People who knows that once you start this fire, it will be unquenchable. And people also who have no political ambitions. People who are not looking for positions in the political arena. We need them to sit down and give us the way forward for this nation.
And when you talk about the president being advised by, some young people around him. And also, the reason why the opposition is holding firm in its ground is because the president is also surrounded by hardliners, the likes of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the majority leader in the parliament, a Kikuyu member of parliament, Kimani Ichung'wah, his counterpart from Kiaru Ndini Nyoro. They've held a very firm position that they will not allow the president to have any conversation with the opposition. We saw what President Uhuru Kenyatta also did in 2018 when they came together with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. The president said that he did not consult anyone. He made a move by himself. By the look of things, I am the president. I know what is good for the country. I know what my intentions are. I need to make this move. Is it time for president, to close his ears and not stop listening to the hardliners that surround him and make a sober decision as a president in singular?
Dialogue is the only option. We saw it during the time of Moyera. We saw it during the Kibaki era. We saw it during Uhuru's time. Is this regime so special that they cannot heed to the calls of the people and the leaders in this nation? I think the president now need to call himself in his private room. I hear he's surrounded by bishops, but look for elders. Go to some elderly people who were there during the time of independence. They are there. Go and look for retired politicians and prominent big business people and people who are sober, people with godliness, people who have no interest, personal interest, that is. Otherwise, if our president will continue listening to the sentiments by these young Turks, this nation will burn. Because these are people who are just pursuing their personal interests. They just want to amass wealth. They just want to ensure that themselves, and they used to fight the dynasty. They are creating dynasties in this nation. Again, it's a repeat of what we have been seeing. So for me, the buck stops with President Ruto. Let him listen to the voice of reason. Let him call the Muslim community. Let him call, the members of LSK. Let him call the clergy, the Christian fraternity, leaders, people with integrity. We have them here. Let them sit down. But if the trend of listening the advice of young people who are hardly reached the age of 60, we are heading to the ditch.
And you're talking about heading to the ditch, and of course it's been only a third round of the protest, and we've seen the effects of that particular protest. Of course, we all agree that the capital city has been, for the days that there have been protests, it has been scarce and scanty in regards to business-wise. The adverse effects of these protests, if they continue, what do you think would be the adverse effects, for these protests even as they continue? Because we expect next week as well, Monday and Thursday.
During the time of campaigns, we were promised utopia, heaven on earth. Good things. We are coming from times of darkness. We are now entering the glory land. There are many promises that in 100 days, A, B, C, D will happen. There's been a lot of deception. But woe unto the Kenyans who have kind of believed that lies and deception is the order of the day. Kenyans, you are there to be blamed. It's like our conscience is dead. It's like we cannot remember the past. We have no history. So for me, if we need to bring solution to this nation, first and foremost, we must fulfill the promises that we gave to the electorate, to the people who went to the ballot. But so long as the price of basic commodities it's very high, there will be a justification to what is happening. And of course, when these demonstrations are there, it is affecting all of us. The other day, the deputy president was talking about losing 2 billion. The other day, the governor of Nairobi says that over 30 million in one single day is lost. Revenue will not be collected. Hotels are being closed. The transport sector, people cannot ferry people from this point A to point B. That bus has employed the father of somebody with a student at the university. And they are talking of, withdrawing help. So people must be given hope. So things are not, they are not, okay, things are not going better. We are not going positively. There is we are retrogressing, retrogressing. So you cannot say, I'll use the Constitution, even the Bible. And I believe a president is a believer, is a preacher of the good news. I find him praying. What the Bible says is, one of the apostles saying, the letter killeth, but the spirit giveth life. When some of our judges are trying to interpret the content of the Constitution when there is an issue, they say, okay, yes, it says this, but in the spirit of the Constitution. So we cannot just follow the Constitution to the letter. We must follow the spirit. Yeah. So, guns, tear gas, and we are dealing with, Chris, we are dealing with people who have lost hope. I hear them say, they have nothing to lose. The other day they were saying, let not the authorities know where you live. Just appear, talk, and then you disappear. That person is living in the ghetto, in a single room, where he's just maybe 1,500. So even if the house is burnt, he has nothing to lose. He will just walk to Kisumu, he will walk to Mombasa, he will walk to Turkana. But there are investors in this nation. There are people who have invested in this nation. What is their fate? This is why we are calling upon the president to listen to the voice of reason and do something concerning the situation.
And as we talk about, the president listening to a voice of reason and all that, we've seen the demos turn out to be chaotic, and there have been so much to talk about in regards to the conduct of the police, in regards to handling of the protesters, and as well as handling of the Azimio Umoja leaders leading the protest. You look at the events that happened on Monday of this week as well as yesterday. What do you make of the conduct of the police? The police have been accused of not laying grounds for a peaceful demonstration. What do you make of the account of events?
I use the word impunity. Where so long as I have the gun, I can use it and misuse it. I can wreak havoc, and I go scot-free. Chris, what happened to the journalists that whom the police were throwing tear gas? and threatening them with live bullets and telling them you are not supposed to shoot this live event, you cannot give, live news to the public. Are the police going to tell the media what to do in this nation?
Mm-hmm.
Are we not going back to the old days? News are very important. Kenyans have a right to news, to information. So when people are saying that we will follow the Constitution, it must be followed to the letter. Freedom of the press. We cannot gag the press anymore. We cannot tell them they will not pass through here because something is happening. They make their news from those events. So I wanted to ask you, Chris, were the media people armed?
Not at all, just with a camera.
Tell me, maybe you have something in the secret. What were the police coming to do with tear gas and guns to this vehicle? What were they looking for? So much as we are talking about the demonstrators using stones, we have a very good example of what happened yesterday. The media guys who were injured, yet they were doing their duties in this nation.
Mm-hmm.
So that being an example, it also tells me even the demonstrators who are not armed will be provoked by the security officers. And when you provoke hungry people who have no weapons other than stones, they are going to make use of the stones. So I think the security guys should restrain themselves and they should be well advised. Let them perform their demonstrations without being provoked.
Mm-hmm. Don't you think the conduct of the police, is going to cause, looking forward to the Monday protest and the conduct of the police yesterday on Thursday, don't you think it's going to elicit a different reaction from the protesters as well as the leaders? Because we also saw yesterday the Secretary General for the ODM party and a member of Azimio, Edwin Sifuna, is the Senator of Nairobi, say that we are no longer going to give police notices. If we give them, they do not act according to the law. Now we are going to do the protest. Don't you think that that is going to elicit a different reaction now from the protesters with the provocation of the police?
We have a big problem in this nation. And I'm saying that as a person who has traveled through many nations of the world. We cannot allow, is it called a state police, a police state in our nation in this 21st century. I envisage a time when a policeman in this nation, once you meet with him, he will greet you like a patriotic Kenyan, a person where you'll be addressed as a very important person because that is who you are. You are a Kenyan. Sorry.
You just hang it up.
So, I'm looking forward to a time when the police will be friendly to the wananchi. But how can they be friendly if this policeman is not living in a proper house? How will this policeman not take bribes and extort money from people if he cannot also afford a packet of hunger with his family, for his family? The dignity of the police need to be looked into. So we have so many problems in this nation. You want to give a policeman arms, a gun, a policeman who has grudges, who need psychiatrical counseling. And you want this policeman to go and drink with his friends. impunity must be dealt with. So, Japheth Koome, the police commissioner, you have a big role to play to bring reforms in at the police sector. So what we are saying is, unless many things are addressed in this nation, and I said, it will not be done by one person. The Kirk TV Kenya is a project of the Presbyterian Church, isn't it, of East Africa?
Definitely.
I like the way the Presbyterian Church conduct her services, because Presbyterian means presbytery. It is an organization being led by elders, isn't it? Deacons and elders, people who sit down before the priest or the moderator can make decisions. The elders must sit down. This is why we don't hear splinter groups in the PCA church. This is why the youth of this organization or this church are very stable, because it is being governed by elders. If you want to rule Kenya, our president, you must emulate the PCA church, which is ruled by the advices of the elders.
Right, and I think on that note, we're going to take a very short commercial break, and then we return back listening to what the Deputy President had to say, as well as we get to finalize with the effects of the demonstration in this particular economic time. So we take a short commercial break. Don't go far away. We are right back in a short while.
John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership, only on Kirk TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader, for the leader.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
have told our international partners who are pushing us to sit with Raila Odinga. We have told church leaders who are telling us to sit with Raila Odinga that we are willing to sit with him, but not to discuss his forceful entry into government. We are telling our friends that we cannot violate the Constitution. Our Constitution has no provision for Raila Odinga to come into government through the back door. And we are telling our friend, our elder Raila Odinga, the only way to get into government is through the ballot. There is no other way. You have gotten away too many times. You brought violence, you destroyed property, you sowed fear. Unfortunately for you, the President of the Republic of Kenya and his deputy cannot buy fear. You are saying? You have embarked on destruction of property in Nairobi and Kisumu. You have interrupted businesses as you pursue selfish agenda. But your time is up, and I'm happy Kenyans are getting tired. Today in Nairobi, work is going on. People have opened shops, business is going on, and that is the way to go.
All right, and that is Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And just to bring you in, Mr. Munyori, there's so much that you can hear coming out from the mouth of the Deputy President, and when you hear him talk about we are getting pressure from international community, but we are not going to relent on our hard line. And he also talked about, businesses are going on and perceive that the demos are not having adverse effect on the, the current economy. But we all know that regardless of what he's saying, that there is adverse effects on the economy. What would you say, or rather, what is your view in regards to the ongoing demos vis-a-vis the current economic times?
Chris, I was born in Nairobi. This is my home. I've lived in Nairobi the better part of my life. You cannot say that things are okay. Actually, we need to do a lot of work to bring back Nairobi to normalcy. You cannot tell me that there was normalcy when in 100 shops or businesses, 85 of them were closed. You cannot tell me things were normal when hotels are preparing food for customers, yet in the evening, only maybe 10% of their food stuff have been consumed by the customers. You cannot say that you cannot listen to the international community. You cannot. You cannot. Kenya is not an island. We cannot isolate ourselves. And this is what I'm saying. Listen to the voice of reason. Can you say that you're not going to listen to the community, but the following day you are there asking them to help you with medicine, to help you with loans? I think there's something wrong someplace, somewhere. And I told you again that the president, our president, Ruto, need now to take charge, not to allow inflammatory chats and talks where people who are living in deception, illusions. Anything you say, they clap, and you feel excited. We are not heading to the right direction. We cannot tell the international community to keep quiet, that we will not listen to them. We need to listen to them, and this is why they are here in this nation. And we know they have brokered for peace in many nations, isn't it? We know even when we had problems during the time of Kibaki, we called our friends from other countries to come and help us to arbitrate. So I cannot say that Nairobi was peaceful. No, And peace cannot come as a result of, being in the presence of armed policemen. We will live in fear. We will not be stable. We need people to live with dignity, whereby when I see my neighbor, when I see the person from the other fraction, whether it's ODM, whether it is Jubilee, we are brothers. And I would also say that we must also come out of the campaign modes, because even today we are doing a lot of campaign. We are still campaigning. We stopped the campaign 7 months ago. Can we now deal with issues of governance, issues to bring bread on the table for the people that we want to rule or to govern? Yeah, that's what I can say. But there's no stability in the city.
I've just been trying to follow up on what people are saying, and we'll be coming to that later on. But let's take a look at what is the way forward. Now, if we talk about dialogue, but it is not happening, and there are headlines from both sides. What is the future look? What does the future look like? For the next couple of weeks for the country.
Well, if things are not addressed appropriately, they will go out of hand. And I said earlier that dialogue is the only way. Yet the dialogue must not be conducted by two people. Because we cannot just wait and then, because these people, they work in the night, during the night. They work during the time we don't know. And then all of a sudden we'll see two people doing a handshake at the annals of Harambee House or a State House, telling us we have 15 points, which we have discussed, me na brother yangu mkubwa, ama mimi na ndugu yangu mdogo. That is what Kenyans we are saying no. I am the vice chair of People for People. It's a movement for the people, because we are saying the voice of the people must now be heard. We must be the conscience of the state and the voice of the voiceless. The people, the common Wanjiko, must now start speaking. So what we are saying is that the demos, if allowed to continue, the economy of this nation will be on its knees. And it will be very hard to recover. Look at the Kenyan shilling against the dollar. It has declined
in totality.
We have never bought a dollar at 140 something US dollar. The US dollar at 147 Kenya shillings. Look at how Tanzania is, blowing their trumpet that we are now borrowing dollars from them. We must open up our eyes and see that the economy is will just be in shambles very soon. So the demos, if allowed to continue in this manner, we will come into an irretrievable situation where it will be very hard for us to redeem ourselves. We have been saying that Kenya is the light of the East African countries. People have been emulating us, and it is not easy. It is not hard for us now to be lagging behind. So I would like to actually request the leaders to maintain the status that has been there during the other regimes. Maintain a high standard of our nation. When these things continue, one day, yet right now as we talk, Kenya is in debts which we have not been able to pay. We are getting more debts. We have become beggars, even nationally. We are going from place to place looking for money. But what we have here is enough for us. Can we give confidence? Can we ensure that the environment is conducive for the investors? We don't want to hear investors running to Tanzania. We don't want to hear that investors, prospectors, investors wanted to come and invest in Kenya. They have now diverted their attention. I saw this ship that was coming to Kenya. It was diverted to Tanzania. We don't want to hear that tourists that wanted to come to Kenya are going to Mozambique. We want to create a conducive environment so that our economy will be stable. And when the economy is bad, when people cannot meet with their daily needs, it will not be easy for anyone to govern this nation.
In the current situation. And as we conclude, I just want to take a look at what people are saying in our broadcast. Gidua Michael says is watching, and quite an in-depth of a conversation. And Erasas Mwene Limuru says, I'm present from Limuru, following up this particular conversation. And Mware Washuri, that is Wagaki Washuri, she's she vied for the Kembo Women Rep. They just concluded election. She said, a very good morning. We are very concerned, and the government has really failed the Mwananchi. Instead of them listening to the opposition and creating a platform for dialogue, they are fighting back and causing more harm. Remember, it is constitutional to strike. You know, as we conclude, and on that particular note of what Wagakiwa Shori is talking about, you know, the government needs to listen to the opposition and create a platform for dialogue on what is centered on the Kenyan people. What will be your final remarks, you know, regarding the whole and the entire situation?
Thank you, Helen, for the sentiments. And I think I will just repeat what we had said earlier. The government needs to listen. Listen, give an ear. Kind of, let there be a transition from the campaign period. Now it is governance. We cannot continue condemning. The 50% of this nation is saying we are hungry. In actual fact, it's not just 50%, because there's no maize flour for the Uda people and for the Azimio people, and even for those 10 million and their children who never went to vote because their morale was killed. They didn't see the reason why they should go to vote, because the trend in this nation is that they believe that things will never be free and fair, especially during the elections. I think what the former Prime Minister is asking for, open the server. Because, Chris, if we are two of us here, and you happen to lose your phone, and I have my bag here, I have my bag here, whether I have stolen your phone or not, I think it is justified when you say, open that bag, because I'm looking for my phone. How difficult is it just to open and ensure that there is nothing except my book? I'm a writer. Kenya, the land beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. If I find there is no phone, then I'll be ashamed. I'll go home, back home, telling my people, now I'm sorry I misled you. But so long as the bag is not open and I'm trying to hide from you, I don't think the victim will be contented. So what we are saying here, Mr. President, Your Excellency, Ruto Arap Samoei, listen to what the opposition leader is saying. Kindly facilitate an all-inclusive institutional dialogue. You have the capacity. Call us for a cup of tea at State House. We don't want to be called at State House for prayers. We have prayed for the last 60 years. Kenya is stable. We want to be called for dialogue, the voice of reason. Paul says, even as much as you are praying in the spirit, also pray in the mind. We want to bring the Muslims on board. We want to bring the Hindu community on board, because God is the creator of them all. We want to bring the civil society on board. So, Mr. President, listen to what the demonstrators are saying. and many others who have been cowed down. You know what people are saying? I will not come out to demonstrate. But what Baba is doing is the right thing. Because as he fights for his personal interest, my interest will also be looked into. So Baba has a lot of followers. Yet, how you can minimize that? Reduce the cost of living. Let fuel price be reduced. Let the unga price be reduced. Let school fees be reduced. Let the common mwananchi, when he earns his 300 shillings, let him be able to afford milk, a packet of flour, and greens. You will not find these demonstrators on the road. But so long as people cannot pay their houses, people cannot afford food and school fees, this demonstration, even if Baba dies today, or the Lord takes him, or he resigns, or he retreats, there will be demonstrations.
There will be demonstration.
So, an all-inclusive dialogue. And people must now start developing a paradigm shift whereby we are saying power belongs to the people. We will not need politicians to lead us in many things. No, stay in parliament, but let the Wananchi now take charge by making profound decisions for this nation. So I'm heading that group called the People for People, whereby we are saying many things. Like Chris, you are in Nairobi. You don't own land. Somebody has tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of acres. How he acquired them, the common mwananchi is not even aware, is not even sure. Now, we are neighboring Langata Cemetery. When people die in this city, they are taken to Langata Cemetery. They are dying. And they are buying graves to be buried. A time is coming when we will tell the Kenyans that when the government is giving you an identity card, let it be accompanied with a title deed, so that you can be assured. And that title deed guarantees you to go and take some loan at the bank. This is what is happening in Botswana and many other countries in the world.
All right. I think that is a good point to conclude our conversation this morning. Of course, there's so many issues to talk about and we can go on and on, but I'm told our time is up. Reverend Henry Munyori, thank you so much for making time this morning. Of course, our other guest, Melin Bosibori, was not able to make it this morning, but regardless, we've had a conversation centered on the state of the nation. Up until next time, next week, we'll be on Friday, we'll be talking about the state of the nation, but for now, that is where we wind up this particular conversation this morning. So don't go far away, because when we return back, the show continues, but the conversation now shifts to Entertainment Friday. So don't go far away. We're done with the state of the nation. Up next is Entertainment Friday.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you also for the good conversation. I think you've covered even
keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647. Losing a beloved one can be one of the hardest life experiences. Death brings a total change in many setups, the family taking a huge position. Death also provides an opportunity to celebrate the departed and their achievements on earth. Kirk TV provides for you an opportunity to announce death and funeral at affordable fee. For more information, write to us via announcements@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
Can I advise that we take this conversation to a more quiet place?
There is nothing to discuss. I am fine where I am.
What do you know about Flora?
You need to tell me what exactly you were discussing with Mr. Martins.
All I remember is he asked me to follow him to a place where there was no distraction.
You can't remember why he asked you to follow him to that empty class?
I can't remember.
What do you remember?
He raped me.
If you cannot remember the name of your former school, at least you should be able to tell us the name of your current school. What is the name of the school Mr. Martins teaches?
It's a school.
Tumekuwa kwa kanisa na tumebeba mizigo mizito. Tumekuwa kwa kanisa wapendwa na tuko na mzigo wa chuki. Hutaki kuona mwenzako akiendelea. Hutaki kuona mwenzako akichaguliwa, na tuko kwa kanisa. Tumebeba mzigo wa kiburi. Ukiwa hauko unafikiria hii kanisa yesiendelea. Na wewe ndiyo mtu yule tumechagua treasurer wetu wa kanisa. Unafikiria usipokuwa wengine hawezi kuwa matreasurer, na hata wakikuwa hawataifanya mzuri. Hiyo ni mzigo wa kujigamba.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647. Losing a beloved one can be one of the hardest life experiences. Death brings a total change in many setups, the family taking a huge position. Death also provides an opportunity to celebrate the departed and their achievements on earth. Kirk TV provides for you an opportunity to announce death and funeral at affordable fee. For more information, write to us via announcements@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership only on Kirk TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader, for the leader.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647. Losing a beloved one can be one of the hardest life experiences. Death brings a total change in many setups, the family taking a huge position. Death also provides an opportunity to celebrate the departed and their achievements on earth. Kirk TV provides for you an opportunity to announce death and funeral at affordable fee. For more information, write to us via announcements@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
Hallelujah! Atine damu heinya na wathani. Nemogothie na nemokuhota daimono ciothe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kuna daimono icio ciĩtagwo atĩa? Hizo ziko mbele yako, lakini Mungu anasema ataziondoa kwa ajili yako ndiposa uweze kupita. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kwa hivyo ni vyema usimame imara na ujue Mungu ni wewe anaongelesha siku ya leo. Kama umefika mahali ambapo ni kikomo, hujui uende mbele, hujui urudi nyuma, Mungu anasema simama tu imara na utaona. Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Next on Legends.
So and then you eventually were elected as the moderator of the PCA General Assembly.
I didn't want at all being a moderator.
Okay.
Because the moderators whom I had seen conducting the General Assemblies and business committees and GAC, I found like it was tough.
Oh, yeah.
Kwa kanisa na tumebeba mizigo mizito. Tumekuwa kwa kanisa wapendwa na tuko na mzigo wa chuki. Hutaki kuona mwenzako akiendelea. Hutaki kuona mwenzako akichaguliwa, na tuko kwa kanisa. Tumebeba mzigo wa kiburi. Ukiwa hauko unafikiria hii kanisa haiwezi endelea. Na wewe ndio mtu yule tumechagua treasurer wetu wa kanisa. Unafikiria usipokuwa wengine hawezi kuwa matreasurer, na hata wakikuwa hawataifanya mzuri. Hiyo ni mzigo wa kujigamba.
Yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa. Yeah. Prince Kudi Empire, we roll. Nitakuwa nadanganya nikisema mimi sina dhambi na kumfanya Mwokozi Yesu Yesu wa kweli. Mara nyingi najipata majaribuni hadi nalemewa. Kama ni kuomba mimi naomba sana, kama ni kusifu mimi nasifu sana. Majaribu mengi yananiandama, wakati mwingine na feel nalemewa, 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 nipe nguvu, nalemewa, 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 nisaidie, nalemewa.
I wanna do the right thing. Somewhere along the way I found myself, I'm drifting, living life in the fast lane. I should probably shift gears, take it slow, I'm all ears before the fast life takes a toll on me. It's easy to put my face behind a mask, living like a bride about to pour or sell a cask. I made a vow to you, I live it up to task. I'll forever bow, you don't even have to ask. Yeah, it's amazing, all your glory, you never let me down. Take all my worries, and when you let me trust the process that's within me. You knock, 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 I don't even have to lock on. I see hard days, I know tough times, but you provide the way and show me where your love lies. Call me homeless cause this world is not my home. Kila nalemewa, hold my hand with you, I'm home. Yeah, I see dark days, I know tough times, but you provide the way and show me where your love lies. Call me homeless cause this world is not my home. Kila nalemewa, hold my hand with you, I'm home. Yeah.
Kama ni kuomba mimi naomba sana, kama ni kusifu mimi nasifu sana. Majaribu mengi yananiandama, wakati mwingine na feel nalemewa, 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 nipe nguvu, nalemewa, 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 nisaidie, nalemewa. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come as it in heaven. Nisamehe dhambi zangu navyosamea wengine. Keep me away from all temptation and deliver me from evil. Cause nitakuwa nadanganya nikisema mimi sina dhambi na kumfanya Mwokozi Yesu Yesu wa kweli.
Tuko ndani.
Uko fresh
kabisa.
Prince Crew sasa. Tuongelee kabla tuende mbali, na ni crew ya watu kama wanne, sio? Kweli. So let's talk about, introduce yourself. Jupio, introduce kamera yako hiyo hapo.
Okay, so my name is Main from the Prince Crew Empire, singer, songwriter, rapper, a member of the Empire. Yeah.
Right. The king himself.
Yeah, my name is Prince Park, also a member of the Prince Crew Empire, a rapper, a singer, a songwriter as well. Yeah.
So you people are different, quite different, you know, and your music and how you gel in coming up with music is quite impressive. Na pia kuna venye, yani, is that gel between wote. Nimesikia kwa hiyo ngoma yenye imesha kwanza. Let's talk about nyinyi mlipatanaje kwanza ndio mfanye kazi mko wanne. How was the journey to coming together? Because najua kila mtu lazima alikuwa kivyake at some point. Yeah.
Okay, so journey yetu ni interesting, although pia si unique because I think watu wengine pia wameanza kama sisi. So si tulipatana shule, high school. Tulikuwa the same school, we were more than 4 tukianza. But si wote tulikuwa shule moja, tulikuwa class moja, na hapo ndio tulianza. So actually tulianza like naweza sema aje, like ile tukaamua tunaanza tukiwa form 4. So hiyo ni 2015 ndio tuliamua tunaanza muziki as a group. Yeah, and that's how we started.
Interesting. Ile gani yenye mlikuwa nyinyi wote pamoja? Shout out pia. Unajua pia kuna penye mnaanziaga ndo inamata sana.
Yeah, true.
But you coming together, let's talk about finishing school. Kwa pamoja mlianza usanii kwa form 4. Hapo unajua form 4 mkimaliza kila mtu pia anaenda kivyake. So after form 4 sasa mlikujaje tena pamoja, kwa sababu pia unajua mtu anaweza enda kama ameendaga. How did you talked about pia mlikuwa wengi, but now you're 4. After form 4, how did people come up together?
Okay, actually kuna tu ile kitu ilikuwa na to drive kufanya hiki kitu because tukiwa hapo shule ulisema ni big up shule inaitwa Brucewood Educational Center, shout out to our former school. So Kenya ilikuwa na to drive kufanya hiki kitu. I guess ni ile tu passion ya music yenye tulikuwa nayo. Yes, we were many, but kuna wale walienda their own separate ways. Then the 4 of us will remain tuliamwacha tusonge na hiki kitu. So 2016 was our first year to release our first debut single, ilikuwa inaitwa Neno. Iko hapo YouTube. So from there tumekuwa tu consistent since then. Yeah.
Na tuongelee hiyo consistency ndio nilikuwa nataka tuongelee kwanza, because we find groups pia consistency huko tricky when it comes to huyu lazima apatikane, huyu apatikane, lazima tu come up na kitu, na mwingine pia anaweza kuwa anataka ku come up na kitu tofauti. Nyinyi huwa mnafanyaje kazi pamoja so that consistency ina remain, unapata mna release project nzuri one after the other with togetherness yani?
So for us kilo ina happen every year before ikianza hivi watu the first meeting tukipatana
AGM
tunaweza ita hivyo tukipatana kwa AGM yetu watu go through projects zenye tungetaka kufanya for the rest of the year. So tunakaa chini tunapitia kila project yenye tunataka kufanya alafu tuna agree. So once tume come up na the agreement sasa ni kucommit to it. Ndio unajua the fact that tuko a group inamaanisha sio kila mtu atapatikana at the same time, unaona. So kama ni kitu yenye itabidi si wote lazima tupatikane, then tunajaribu as much as we can tunapatikana si wote. Sasa zingine hatuwezi control, so uzuri ya group pia ni hiyo, unaona, like anaweza ni represent, mimi naweza represent, so tunaweza representiana at whatever place tuko. Yeah, but when it comes to also just putting out songs, hiyo nayo ni kitu pia we make sure that we do it as a team. So kama tunajua tuko na studio recording, tutaenda kama tunaweza patana wote, then tutapatana wote. Sipopatana wote, then siku yenye mmoja atakuwa, then kunaweza kuwa na mwingine wa kumsupport tu hapo. So yeah, that's how we work as a team. Na to make sure to that any project yenye tumeset kufanya ina happen. Yeah.
What does the process look like? Tuseme ngoma kama moja. Sikia unapiga mistari hapo, unaacha mistari, wewe pia unapiga verse yako. So ina happen. How does it happen? It's talked about saa zingine kutopatikana na time pia kwenda studio nyote pamoja. How does it happen for you to even make that song? Do you go and record, unapiga verse kako time yako, huwa anapiga kai na kana kamaje pamoja, mnasikia kama ingiana?
The process of us writing a song mpaka ifike studio, mpaka ifike kwa video, venye tu alikuwa amesema sometimes watu patikani. So siku yenye tupatikani we have to postpone, but we make sure we postpone within a period enye tulikuwa tunasema hii ngoma lazima ifanyike. Let's say for example if it's March, this song is supposed to be done in March. If we'll postpone one day to another day, it must be in March. So ngoma inaandikwa, inatumwa on WhatsApp, watu wana go through lyrics. If let's say for example is the songwriter, I'm also songwriter. If you end up mandika ngoma, ina go through the process ya kuanalyziwa. If me pia mimi mandika ngoma, ina go through the process ya kuanalyziwa. Or sometimes you find the other members wanajiandikia their own lyrics individually. So wana have kutuma pia kwa group ina analyziwa. So lazima tuchambue ngoma venye iko, lazima tuangalie grammatically iko aje, poetically iko aje, vitu kama hizo tunazingatia. Also tunaangalia flow venye iko. it has to be something professional according to us. Kuna venye ngoma yetu inafaa itoke huko nje. So ikishafanyika hivyo anatuma pia voice note. So hizo voice note pia mtu lazima atume for us to analyze the flow venye iko kila kitu. So from there then tunapanga nao the studio session lazima tukue si wote. For that chemistry lazima tukue si wote. Tuna avoiding sana hiyo, unasikia mmoja ameenda kachapa verse yake, mwingine anakuja kuchapa yake. Tuna avoiding hiyo sana because hapo kwa studio tukiwa si wote tu brainstorm. So there are those ideas zenye kuja hapo kwa studio. Tukiwa pamoja. So afadhali to put aside a day whereby hakuna mtu mwenye atapatikana, but to make sure siku yenye kila mtu atapatikana, this is the day that we are going to do this. Yeah, so that's the process of it. Even comes to video, we also meet for pre-productions, meetings, ya kuandika script, how we are going to do our videos, everything inakwanga na hiyo process.
Interesting. That is inatukalia sisi wenye si wasanii quite a lot of work, but I know it's quite easy when it comes to you kama wasanii. But before tusikie ngoma yenu Tembea Nasi na mtuambie pia how that song came up, tuongelee about the challenge yenye inakuwa na umeongea kuhusu how you work together. Challenge gani yenye mna face kama group yenye bado mnaona it's still a challenge, but regardless lazima msonge mbele? What is the biggest challenge yenye mna face?
So I think the challenges tu ni nyingi. But I guess ile naweza sema top of mind sahi as a group, ile challenge tuna face ni like ku progress to in terms of like progression, because ndio naweza sema tume progress from pali tulianzia back in 2016 tukidrop our first song, kumekuwa na hiyo progression, but na feel ni kama I don't know if unajua tu industry ya sahi iko very limited. Yeah, especially in the gospel boundaries. Iko very limited in terms of what the places you can get to, the people you can meet. So naweza sema so far hiyo ndio challenge yenye tumekuwa tukiface a lot. But I think ni kitu inaweza kuwa tu curbed, ni kitu inaweza kuwa tunaweza overcome. Yeah, with time. Yes.
Interesting, because pia music lazima ina evolve. Tuongelee Tembea Nasi, tuambie kuhusu Tembea Nasi. Na pia you've talked about song writing, nani aliandika na what was the background of the writing of that song?
So okay, I'm the one who wrote the song, Tembea Nasi.
Nauliza mwenyewe.
Yeah. So actually, hiyo ngoma, the background of the song is I guess ni venye tumuulize swali ya challenges. Mostly ni sisi kuna zile challenges zenye tumepitia zenye like yes, every artist akikam up anapitianga challenges na changamoto zilikuwa mob. Hata sisi kuna zile tumepitia, and this song was majorly because of those challenges. Na challenges maybe ni financially, maybe even tukiwa gospel pia kuna challenges mtu upitia, temptations na vitu mob sana mtu akiwa Kenya nafanya au tupitia challenges mob sana tukifanya hii gospel yenye tunafanya. So like unapata hiyo ngoma majorly ilikuwa about kuambia God atembee na sisi, just walk with us, and I found it like it rhyme poa with a song for Ruben Kigame and Anasi. So it's like we did a sample of that song. Yeah, so nikaandika ngoma based on times like when we are in our darkest moments, God atembee na sisi. Yeah,
Tembea Nasi. Tusikize Tembea Nasi ndio pia mwenye anatuoja asishangae Tembea Nasi tuongelea ni. Tembea Nasi kabisa, twende kazi.
I'm not from a movie, but really events are happening from different corners of the earth. As you can see,
tutavua mapambo yetu, vitu vyote vya thamani kwetu, mioyo yetu twaleta mbele zako, tutakase na utembee nasi.
Walk with me, my father, go and take the lead, I follow you. I am done with sin, no deal with the devil, ain't no truth. My greatest encounters when I met you, that's rendezvous. I'm Puru, I'll depend on that time I say wake up. Blessings to the ones that believe in, mercy to the ones that don't know him. Cause right about now you will love him. This and all I told the agonies, 80s. Tell the girl you're going down the haters, I'm sure you know that sin got wages. God has been in total existence since the beginning, that's why he's the alpha. Hey, bow, bow to the King of Kings, make you bow. Pow, pow, knock him out, now the devil's out. I've got the power from above, bruh, I don't brag. Thou shall never put me down, that says the Lord, amen. Can you see me, can you see me now? It's a brand new me, can you feel me now? It's a Prince Crew franchise that you heard about. Quest the King, yeah, he reigning now.
Tutavua mapambo yetu, vitu vyote vya thamani kwetu. Mioyo yetu twaleta mbele zako, tutakase na utembee nasi.
Floss, everybody doing that, spreading God worldwide. You don't wanna hear about that. Watch your steps, Christ is coming soon. Hope you know that. Give your life to God tomorrow. You don't know be standing at.
Hey, bado na betoke na bia na kuna lakini bado mimi ndaroweza kabila God be killing back for the sun like a better from strong kama simba but I'm feeling like an elephant from brother been in love and God I'm in trouble and bado na peleka bala baka kitembea mimi na bado natembea mimi na never gonna go lack of me and depend me.
God first, you know what I mean when I say that. Died on the cross, paid my sins, now I'm free on a new sin. Blessing coming in, check on my new feet. Still on the race to my destiny, all on God.
Stubborn, I told you facts, then I come and start it up. I don't know what you should know, but all I know is if you know God, I make him known. His kingdom's gonna be your own a mystery. If you know, you know. Kanya Shinsky, now you know.
Tutavua mapambo yetu, vitu vyote vya thamani kwetu. Mioyo yetu twaleta mbele zako.
Tembea nasi. Mstari kali hizo. Nataka kujua nani alikuwa na rap fast hivi.
Ndugu yangu.
Hadi nasikia tuko nyuma tuko bwana. Hiyo kwanza hiyo kurap fast how do you manage to do that? You know, pia mtu anasikiza ngoma hata saa zingine unasikiza and then you listen to the rap. At least yako iko slow tunaweza. But you fast, you can hear the words but now you asking and say, manager. Kuna words zingine zitokaje haraka. Still
the practice. You really need to do a lot of practice ya ku hold gas. Na hold gas kwa tumbo alafu natoa maneno.
Unaacha mistari. So ukiuma nje kama moja unaanza tena. But it's not hectic for you mwenye unafanya hivyo, ni hectic kwetu. Sio unaona kazi ngumu.
Sasa nishazoea.
Nimesikiza ngoma zenu, most of them are rap songs, you know, and pia kwa mistari pia zenye ziko na word. Kuna wase pia kuna gana hiyo kasumba ya, you know, when people start rapping they are now deviating from the actual gospel. Have you encountered vitu kama hivyo na umeface challenge kama hiyo? Yeah, watu kuwa miss, you know, because you guys are rapping and you know are doing more than gospel. Watu wana misinterpret, wanasema how bad. Have you had that challenge?
Ilikuwa mostly especially tukianza ndio ilikuwa sana, but siku hizi I think watu wame tone down kidogo, wametulia,
wameanza kuelewa,
wameanza kushika mistari,
wameanza kuelewa.
Kitambo ilikuwa ndani, mnaenda mahali mtu anasikia ngoma yenye mnafanya sema hip hop, hip hop hakuna kitu hapo,
anasikia sema haiwezi. Let's talk about, you know, the aspect. Nimekuwa nikiuliza pia say, you know, kuna ile pia unafanya gospel kama ministry, na pia kuna hii ni kazi yako, so how do you balance between your being, you know, doing gospel ministry as well as gospel, the music that you do as a source of income and all that? You could balance between ministry na kakitu.
Ni swali poa. That's a good question because kitu ya kwanza ni mtu akiingia kufanya gospel ake kwanza akili yake kando na profit. Kwanza aifanye kama ministry. Where sometimes acha niseme not even sometimes hii kazi pia inahitaji do. Kwenda studio, record, ku shoot videos, kupeleka hii ministry mbele inahitaji pesa. And lazima tutumie hii ministry ilete do. But kitu ya maana ni tutoe hiyo mentality kwanza. Mtu atoe kwanza ile mentality ya I'm doing this for money. Mtu kwanza yake mentality ya why am I doing this? You see, ukiangalia hata kwa government kuna ministers. So people are into ministers but lazima kwanza specify uni minister wa nini. Unaona, uni minister wa nini, uni minister wa nini. So everybody yako na ministry yake ni a certain duty. So for us also gospel artists ni wengi pia but ministry yetu ni gani? Kuna wale wenye wana minister for repentance and all, kuna sisi tuna minister to the young youth, unaona. So kwa kila mtu Kenya anafanya kwanza nafaa aelewe ni kazi yangu kwanza ni nini. I need to put back story ya do kwanza, niache kuleta greed ndani ya kitu. That's why I really encourage kwa those artists wenye na come up size wanataka kufanya gospel in Kenya, watafute job yenye italipia rent Nairobi. Hii ministry kama wanataka kuifanya waifanye kama ministry. But pia ikifika point whereby now kama hii ndio inafai kulete kila kitu kwa table, this has to bring something. Talent yako lazima kulipe. Lazima umalize.
Hapo tunasema to preach kiasi.
To preach kiasi.
Tuongelee preach kiasi. How about that song na inaongelea nini na how you guys came up with that song ndio tusikize pia?
Oh, preach. Okay, so preach. Okay, for us Prince Crew, si tunafanya gospel yenye it's real. A real gospel. Si ile yenye tuna preach wine alafu si tuna drink, tuna preach water, si tuna nini wine. Si tunaongea vitu real, vitu zenye zu happen kwa society, either in gospel or in general. So preach basically ilikuwa ya acha niseme ya kukemea the gospel fraternity, the Christian community. Ni ya kukemea the Christian community. Everybody in the Christian community is not perfect. The pastor, the wasanii sisi wenye tunaimba, hata the congregation, because unapata kama sisi wenye tunaimba gospel, the society imeshatupatia a certain picture. So sisi we are supposed to be perfect. Tukikosea tu kidogo inakuwa amefanya nini, unaona. Inaenda hadi kwa point whereby mimi nikikosea inafanya mtu mwingine hata faith yake na God na nini kando. So congregation pia wana play a part kwa the Christian community, not only the pastors, the preachers nini. That's why tunasema mama kanisa wacha umbea, preach. Pia uko na hiyo opportunity ya kupreach, unaona. Not only the pastor. So all of us tuna follow under that thing ya kusambaza gospel. Lazima to preach. So tuache ku point fingers kama like only you responsibility ni kila msee.
Alright, tusikize tu preach kiasi, tunaambiwa time imeshafika mwisho, tusikize preach kiasi.
Père Norolo, au petit roi, Togende, hein, boye, en peur.
Pasta kanisa bana wacha siasa preach. Msanii injili bana wacha anasa preach. Mama kanisa bana wacha umbea preach. Preach, 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 preach.
Parole de Dieu, parole de Dieu, parole de Dieu, parole de Dieu, parole.
Hip Hop General, reach and preach and teach on the page. Lots of flawless, good and kuna kakli. Taking a place cause Jesus is rich. You know my name but it doesn't make sense. Just know his name cause he doesn't say. Let me commence. Vraiment, pourquoi vous faites l'église de la latrine? Aujourd'hui nous payons propre hier. Passe à Paris, Lévi, Chanel, Cynthia Gucci, Gucci, Anobi, Caval. spécial. Jésus-Christ c'est parole de Dieu, Dieu est roi des rois. Wacha nisifu mokozi, excusez-moi. Msanii injili aji ako active ku DM kusaka malas. Sambaza injili mshahara wa dhambi najipata kwa has.
Nitamsifu kila siku hata kasi na kakitu. Nitasambaza neno lake, sambaza neno lake.
Pasta kanisa bana, wacha siasa preach. Msanii injili bana, wacha anasa preach. Mama kanisa bana, wacha umbea preach. Preach, 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 preach,
parole de
preach.
Dieu, parole de 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 Dieu, parole.
I've been in the business of one far, man, I can't be listening on my cards.
Kwanza nasikia hizo beats na mistari. Wana mwenzako ameshafika. Kaa kwenye seti. Usiseme walikuonea. Ikuja ingia hapa, at least watu pia wakuone. Alikula madakika lakini ingia hapo. So ambia wase jina yako bia wengine washasema, alafu tukifunga maana yake tuko karibu kufunga.
Poleni kwa kuchelewa. Majina yangu naitwa Telvin ama Carl Telvinski, jina ya kisanii.
Yes. Yeah. Wewe pia ni member?
Mimi ni member wa Prince Crew. Mimi ni vocalist.
Wewe unafurahia kitu gani? Unafurahia kitu gani yenye unafanya kazi pamoja na the entire crew? Wewe unafurahia kitu gani?
The fact that tuko pamoja since for close to 8 years. That's the biggest. Yani hiyo ndo furaha kubwa niko nayo. We are doing ministry together. Tuko pamoja almost every time. And these are my brothers. Nawapenda sana.
My brothers. Pia kuna watu wamekuoja hapo hivyo. Wewe huja kwa set from the word go. Hebu tupigie mistari kidogo hapo bana. At least hata watu asikie kidogo tu. Yeah.
Mistari kweli ama vocals kweli?
Kenya tu utapiga chochote. Najua msanii ni msanii. Kenya tu utapiga.
Okay. First, put on the helmet of salvation. The next knee, breastplate of righteousness. Around your waist, tight up the belt of truth. Make you carry on the shield of faith. So that the spirit of the word of God. And your feet shall prepare for the gospel. Ready for war, ready to strike. Buddha Nikorada, never mean a murder.
Kali sana. So wasio kitaka kuwapata kama crew na pia individuals wanaweza wapata wapi social media, music yenu iko wapi, wasio wanaweza stream wapi, Spotify, wewe tuambie ni social zenu.
Tuko kila mahali, Facebook, Instagram, Prince Crew _Empire. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter ni Prince Crew Empire. Individually mimi ni main _KE on all social media.
Carl Telvinski on all social medias.
Mimi ni Prince Park _KE on social media.
Na sio kitaka kupata music yenu watazipata
everywhere too. So Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere.
Kila mahali.
Andika tu Prince Crew. Utatupata.
Interesting. Mwisho najua pia kuna wasanii pia maybe wanawaangalia nyinyi kama crew, wasanii pia wanaanza. Najua pia sasa ni mayouth wanaangalia mayouth wenzao juu. Wale wazee washaenda mbali sana. So nyinyi advice yenu ama your final words kwa wase pia wanakam na pia wase wanaangalia nyinyi kama motivation na pia kuhusu projects zenu?
Mimi naweza sema tu ni jua kwa nini unafanya kile unafanya. So once uko na hiyo reason, then itaku keep going no matter what happens.
Mayouth tuna feel sahi tuko kwa tough times. And what I can encourage all of us is that to stick to God. Yesu ndo dawa, Yesu ndo kila kitu. Na tuendelee kuomba, tuombe nchi yetu. Yes.
Interesting. Prince, maliza na wewe.
For me, can you encourage now youth sama wasanii na wako na groups, stick to what you are doing. Sifike point kama unafanya secular na muacha nichape kenye it makes sense, ama unachapa gospel unasema acha ni switch nyende huko secular ndo kwenye kuna do. Stick to what you are doing, God is going to bless you, is going to encounter with you na kenye una do. Just do what you are doing and what you are best at. Yes.
Producer wangu anasema hapa kwa masikio tu just preach.
Preach.
Yes, tufunga na ngoma yote. Tunaambiwa tufunge na dawa.
Okay.
Tuambie kwanza kuhusu dawa. Tuambie before tucheze hiyo ngoma dawa. Unajua mtu akisikia dawa pia, dawa pia ni relative. Tell us about dawa.
So shout out to Esther Waome. We got in touch with her. Akatupatia go ahead ya kufanya ingoma. Tufanye with our new version ya hip hop. So that basically ni kuna dawa tu ile Esther Waome mmezoea. So for us we just did a rendition of it and inakaa more ya kisasa sasa. Yeah.
Shout out to Esther Waome.
Esther Waome, shout out.
Man, this. Tucheze dawa tukimaliza. See you next week on Friday. Next week on Friday, same time, same place, same show, but maybe the guest will be tofauti. But tunamaliza and then Prince nasikia uko na maneno huko nyuma unafaa uambiwe. Tumalize na dawa.
What's your emergency? 911, please state your emergency. You've reached 911. This line is for emergencies only. If you do not have an emergency, please hang up.
I'm very sure TikTok itawaka, TikTok itakuwaka. Mambo ni vula.
Okay. Guys, we have a hot case. We've been dispatched.
Nayatangazia mataifa na dawa na waipokee. Dawa ni kumpokea Yesu. Kuna dawa.
Yesu kama kawa, dawa power hour bila kahawa. Patience wako sawa, kesha can't sleep na tembea juu ya waba. Blood pressure, coolness, blood pressure, suna bona life so sweet, no sour, big fish, ya ndio papa mini mama. Life so sweet na piga samba, air throne kimufasa, air throat pia ni baba. Ati mziki ni dawa, Yesu ndiye kiwa, mimi ni doctor. Leta syringe bana, walevi wagonjwa waganga na dunga. Holy day tunaleta bana, skiza acha panganga. Dawa ni free, mambo na line hakuna kupanga. Alimwaga damu cause walimesa damu na hawa. Hiyo damu ndio dawa, ikatibu na damu hawa.
Nayatangazia mataifa, kuna dawa na waipokee. Dawa ni kumpokea Yesu. Kuna dawa. Kuna dawa, 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 kuna dawa.
Kristo ndiye dawa, kunywa pata pawa, unapewa dawa, 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 dawa. Kristo ndiye dawa, kunywa pata pawa, unapewa dawa. Hip Hop General. Ati wanauliza ni vijana gani hawa? Prince kama kawa, Buda cheki kipawa. Tunafanya juu ya Kristo, yeye ndio dawa. Sadly Jona cheki mko jama dawa. Dawa amenipea power, hata na kidole moja neza vunja nayo chawa. Yes ndo dawa ya ndoa, bado vijana wa baba za mama za wanachukua wanawaweka. Pasta na chocha jindanya maskini bana, ni mbegu kupandwa. Bado tutapandaje mahindi bana, alafu uvune kahawa. Baby girl relationship haiwezi tibiwa na flower. Neno ndo kiwa na date tushia si fry na vitu mnagawa gawa.
Nayatangazia mataifa, kuna dawa na waipokee. Dawa ni kumpokea Yesu. Kuna dawa. Kuna dawa, 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 kuna dawa.
Kristo ndiye
Empire we rule.